It's Me Made May. It's Me Made May, and it's May 1st, Friday, May 1st. So I thought, well, there goes some trim. I thought, how fun would it be to show you guys how to make a swim cover up, like a bathing suit cover up, out of a towel. I have done this before. I've thrifted towels and made like a beach robe and such. I've done it for me. I've done it for my partner. I'm thinking about doing like something similar to what I'm going to do today for my toddler as well. But I have this gigantic and very luxe, I'm gonna say it's very luxe. It's cotton though. So it's a cotton towel that I found, and I have some trim. So I have this like mint green rope trim, and I have mint green and gold. Well, I'll have to trim that one because that one's all yucky. But I have this mint green and gold. I'm hoping it kind of shows up, but it looks very vintagey, like rope fringe trim. And we are gonna make a beach or a bathing suit cover up out of a towel today. Let's get started. Okay, so what you're gonna need is like a beach size towel. I like to go to the thrift store, find beach size towels. They're fun to look at. Sometimes you get them in really cool prints. The beach robe that I made the last time, I found in like a chenille. It was like really pretty. I'll have to pop in a picture of it like over here or over here. But I got this one. It's lavender. I have a vintage lavender and like teal bathing suit, and so I figured I would make a robe cover up. So you want to make sure that it's something that will definitely go around your shoulders and cover your bum if that's important to you. It is important to me when I have a towel cover up. Then you're going to want some fringe. This is optional actually. You could just turn down all the edges, but I like fringe. It looks vintage and it's cute. The rope is for the belt, and I'm also going to do like some embellishment with it. But again, I'm going to show you a way that you could just use a towel. You're going to want some fabric scissors that are not brand new. So mine are kind of on their way out the door, and so I'm going to use them to cut my towel. I used my serger and the blade was up once, and I was sewing terry, and I dulled out that blade so fast it was back in the shop like the next week. So, and then a tape measure. Okay, next you're going to want to take some measurements. So what I like to do is pull my tape measure out. And this is literally how I like this kind, because this is how I do it when my daughter's not here. I already know my measurements of my shoulders. So shoulder to shoulder, okay? So you're going to take this, or you can go up depending. I actually want to take mine like this, not with a bend. You're going to try to make it as straight as possible so that you can get the actual shoulder measurement from zero, like from the edge of your shoulder to the edge of your shoulder. So like mine is 18 inches. And I want to remember that. So 18 inches. And then we'll measure from the top of our shoulder. So if you're wearing like a shirt, I would put it from that seam, your shoulder seam. And then to at least where you know it's going to cover your bum. Drop it down. And mine is about 30 inches. So 18 across, 30 inches down. Next, we want to take, so what I do, and I know that it sounds wasteful, but it's really not because I end up using every part of my towel. I pretty much cut a horseshoe shape out of my towel. That is my measurements. Okay, so 30 inches down and 18 inches across. I do that because I want all raw edges, because I'm going to turn it under anyway and sew on the fringe. And I can't use the tapered end or the finished edge of these because it's too long. I don't know how wide you are, but if you are this wide, you could just go off of that. Or if you found a towel that runs narrower, you could go off of that. I found a giant towel. So we're going to cut her up. I'll be right back. Okay, next, this is awkward and you could barely see me, but I'm trying to show you my view of the floor. I work on the floor all the time. So I measured down to 30 inches and then up here you can like barely see. If I turn that a little bit, I pinned off 18 inches across. You want to triple and quadruple check your measuring just to make sure that it's going to be the length that you want it to be across, because once you cut it, there's no putting it back. I have this like trim. Also, if you see my puppy, her name is Luna. I also have this trim, like not trim, but it's like this pattern, and I'm kind of going to use it for the front anyway because it's not on the back. And I kind of like measured 30 inches is like here, but I measured straight down to the line, so it makes it easier to cut straight, if that makes sense. All right, now I'm gonna cut it. I just had to show you my awkward view and me working on the floor. Okay, so like I said, it's a little bit rough to try to do this on the floor, but I cut the shoulder length. And what you want to do is like, you could also taper it out, which I forgot and I didn't do, but we're still gonna go with it because we're not wasting anything. I did do my little horseshoe at the edges, and now what I did was marked off 4 inches on each side, and that's going to be the neck hole opening. All right. So what I'm going to do is like very slightly like a boat neck, like a slash neck. And then I'm going to create like a little bit of a lip here, or like a cut here in the front. And then that's going to get sewn under to make a neck hole open, or head opening basically. I'll show you when I come back. Next things next, we're gonna sew the neck down. So you want to be like on the inside, right? Or wrong side. And this part I made to be like folded this way, like diagonally, and then everything else is just gonna be sewn down. So I do think like it would be best if you did a zigzag stitch just to kind of keep the chenille or the terry cloth away from fraying. And we'll see how it goes. So it's gonna look like a little collar on the inside, but on the outside it's just gonna have like a little V-neck opening. Okay, I'm gonna give you some advice. Make sure that your sewing machine can definitely go through thick layers of fabric when you are sewing. I know that my machine can go through a million layers. I swear, I have pushed this little Kenmore to her limits. But you do want to make sure that your machine can handle it. Otherwise, you will break needles or be very frustrated. The last towel robe that I made was on a newer Singer machine. I ended up trashing that machine because F that machine. It did not sew for a long period of time. Anyways, I could complain about modern plastic machines till I'm blue in the face. You just want to make sure your machine can handle it. I put mine on a zigzag stitch so that way I didn't have any fraying. Terry cloth frays all day long, dude. I am telling you. So you want to catch it all. Okay, neck is all finished, and what you do is you go back and you kind of trim those inner edges so they don't keep flapping open. Trim them up to your zigzag. And then I, of course, added my little tag inside. Next, we're gonna work on putting the trim in. So this is some fun stuff to just make it look super old Hollywood or 1940s, 50s, like kitschy 60s fun. So we'll get to that next, but I'll just show you what I plan on doing. So the fringe is, you know, like 2.5, maybe 3 inches. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing with the zigzag stitch. Slightly fold it over and place the ruffle or the fringe like so over the fold. And then it'll stick out like that. I kept catching loops in my presser foot, so just make sure you're holding it down and guiding it the right way so that you don't have any problems and you can continuously sew. Okay, so at this point, we have this cute little robe, and this could be finished here. You could add a pocket if you want, because we have extra toweling. I was gonna say the other way, like, so I added rope. So I have this rope trim, and so I just did a rope belt, but you could take your towel trim, right? And I would take the longer side, the finished side, fold this like, well, obviously you would want to cut it about to 2.5 inches. Fold that raw edge in, zigzag stitch all the way down, and you could also have a matching towel belt. I have a little plan for these towel edges. I'm gonna see if it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But look at how cute. I mean, you could even do the same theory for an apron, right? I just think this is so cute, and it's so easy. It took me like no time to make. If you're pretty well versed in sewing or adding trim, look at how neat that looks. We have no frayed edges, fits over my head, and it just has a rope belt. I can't wait to show you guys this with my bathing suit. Okay, I had to show you this little Poshmark score. It's a 1960s Maxine of Hollywood bathing suit. I'm obsessed. She has shaped cones. I'm obsessed. Here we go with the matching robe that I made for her. Lavender. And I just so happened to find this in my headscarf. Oh, I put my initial on it too. But in my headscarf basket, I found a turban that matched. What did I do with the rest of the toweling? I made a beach tote. I told you I do not leave any fabric left behind, especially when it was such a giant towel. I was able to make this luxurious tote. I couldn't believe it. I feel like I'm ready for a pool party. Please like and subscribe.